everybody, welcome to another episode of Save the Kales. I'm really excited about today's dish. It's going to be a great dish for the cold weather. It's really easy and has a lot of really good fall flavors like apple and cinnamon. And this was actually inspired by, of all things, a wedge salad. And if you're not familiar, a typical wedge salad is a wedge of iceberg lettuce topped with things like bacon and blue cheese. So we're gonna take a much healthier spin on that. And we're also going to make it a warm dish. So this is going to be sort of a hot cabbage wedge salad. But it's gonna be really good for you and really tasty. So to start today, we're gonna take a head of cabbage and we're gonna cut it into 6 or 8 wedges depending on how big your cabbage is. But one thing to watch out for is when you cut it, actually try and cut right through the core at the bottom. So that way, when we pull it apart, all your pieces will actually have something to cling to and stay together. All right, we have cut all of the cabbage wedges. They're all here for us. So now we're gonna get a pan, and the oven is heated at 400 degrees. We can just spray this down. And we're gonna put all of the wedges on the pan and then brush them with some olive oil and then just put a little salt and cracked pepper on top. What's really neat about cruciferous vegetables like cabbage, like kale, like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, is that they get really, really sweet once they are roasted. Okay, we go in the oven, and you'll notice again when they're done, when they start to get a little brown, depending on how big your cabbage is, you might have to do it a little longer than 25 minutes, so just keep an eye on it. As soon as you've put your cabbage in the oven, you can start to cut some of the other stuff we're gonna use. So this is a yam. You can use a yam, a sweet potato, you can use some pumpkin, butternut squash, something orange, some kind of orange vegetable would be really good in this. And this is an apple. In this case, it's a Honeycrisp apple. They are my favorite apples. They're so good. And if you never had one, please invest. They're a little bit more than regular apples, but they're amazing. All right, so we're just going to dice these up into even small dices and put them in a bowl. All right, so we're just dicing them into small little pieces like that. Okay, the yam and the apple are all cut into fairly even dices, and we're just gonna put a little bit of olive oil in there, just enough to kind of get them a little shiny and coated. We'll mix that all through, and now we're gonna put that on a pan, and if you time it right, these only need to stay in the oven at 400 degrees, which your oven is already set at, for about 12 to 15 minutes. So by the time you're done, if it works out perfectly, by the time you're done cutting them, you can put them in while your cabbage is still in there, and everything will be finished at the same time. And if that doesn't happen, just keep an eye on the clock. The dressing for this dish is only 3 ingredients, and it's really, really simple. So we are going to take 1 part of Dijon mustard. You could use a teaspoon or a tablespoon, however much you think, a tablespoon, I guess. Put that in a bowl, and then 2 parts of the other things, which this is balsamic vinegar. So if you're using 1 tablespoon, use 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. And then this is just some fresh maple syrup. Please try not to use the kind that comes out of a plastic bottle that looks like a housekeeper, because that is not the same as actual maple syrup. Okay, so flavors are different, consistency is different. So once again, we're gonna use 2 tablespoons of that here. And whisk everything together. And we'll drizzle this over everything when we're finished. Next component for this dish is going to be some candied nuts for on top, and usually they are made with eggs and egg whites. You just simply don't need them. So we're going to actually use sunflower seeds this time, and what I have here is a vegan butter substitute in a pan melting. It's about 1 tablespoon. I'm going to put in some brown sugar, and that's going to kind of make like a thick paste. So once we melt that down together, we've laid out some wax paper or parchment paper, and that's what you'll dump everything onto. So now that that's all kind of caramelized, it's like a thick syrupy sauce, we can throw in whatever kind of nuts we want to use, turn them around a couple times and coat them. And I'm gonna add some cinnamon to this as well for our nice fall, winter time dish. That's gonna make it taste really good too with the brown sugar. Take it off the heat and pour it out. The sunflower seeds that we kind of candied a little bit are done drying. You can see them here on our wax paper. And if you peel them off, you can put them on a plate, and they come out in these little kind of clusters. And they taste really good. And if you make more than you actually use, that's fine. Just put them in a container and you can put them on top of salads and other good stuff during the week. So you've probably heard a lot recently about the wonders of probiotics for helping your digestive tract, but a lot of people talk about dairy-based ones like yogurt. Well, cabbage, fermented cabbage like sauerkraut or kimchi here, which I just found in my garden in November, is a great plant-based source of healthy probiotics. All right, we have all of our components now for this dish. And as I said, you can see that the cabbage did get a little bit brown and it's nice and soft now. So let's take a few of those and we can kind of set those up here like that. And now we'll top it with that yam and apple mixture. That looks really pretty, so pile on as much of this as you would like. And let's see, next we have our dressing. Okay, we have the candied nuts. In this case, again, I'm using sunflower seeds, but you can use almonds or pecans or walnuts or anything you'd like. And for a pop of color and a little more sweetness, you can put on some cranberries, dried cranberries, or even throw in some cranberry sauce if you'd like. And that makes it look really pretty. So there you have it, a super duper healthy hot dish inspired by a very unhealthy cold dish, the wedge salad. And I think this will be a great addition to any holiday menu, holiday meal. It looks really pretty and I think your guests will be quite impressed. Thanks for watching Save the Kales, everybody, and we'll see you next time.